Alright, in this video we are going to be doing a Update 8 Devil Fruit tier list. So straight out of the way, this tier list is going to be done according to two things, PvP and PvE capabilities. Now PvP really means Arena and Battle Royale, while PvE is kind of broad because there's a lot of PvE in this game. It could be leveling, CB, Arena, boss farming, pretty much anything. Raids now. So yeah, also I don't know too much about how these fruits play like that well because of how many balance changes there were. I did get insight from a lot of people. I got opinions from a lot of people on this tier list. I am fairly confident in it. Just keep in mind that, you know, this applies to pretty much any tier list. You know, just move, like, have a little bit of wiggle room for like a one tier up or one tier down, just on personal preference. I feel like that's always something good to have. So if somebody has something in A tier, remember that it could be B or S tier depending on the person's, you know, personal preference. So I just like to keep that in mind. Also, I've never used any of the new fruits. I've seen a lot about it and I've talked to people who have used it, but I haven't used it myself. So just keep that in mind. If you guys have any problems with it, remember, you know, talk about it in the comments. Don't be too negative or hateful about it. Anyway, on to the tier list. So in F tier, we're going straight to Kilo. This shouldn't hit anybody as a surprise. Kilo has always had little to no function in anything. PvP, it's pretty useless. Too much stamina drain. Going up and down takes too long, and Smash is an ult, so you can only do it whenever you have like hella damage. So yeah, PvE, again, little to nothing you can do with it. You can, like, what, float above people and you're just gonna get hit in the air. It's really like not useful, and you also can't use other moves while you're in the air, so you're just kind of floating up there using an insane amount of stamina. Easy F tier. On to D tier, we have Marrow, Horo, Spin, Suke, and the new Heal Fruit. We'll start left to right, so we're going to go with Marrow. Now, Marrow is actually pretty okay for PvP. I would have it in C tier, but the reason it sits in D tier is because its combo extender had its cooldown increased by a lot. I don't have it up right now. I just do remember what some of like these balance changes were. Let's see, Love Charm cooldown increased by 50%. So now it's 50% longer, and honestly, it's its best move. So I would have put it in C tier, but its PvP capabilities, which is really all it had, have been reduced quite a bit. So I feel like I had to put it in D tier. I could understand it being in C tier, but to me, it's just there's so many better options. Next, we have Horo. Horo, I don't think had any balance changes this update, but again, it's good for PvP, it's okay, but again, for PvE, it kind of sucks. Oh wait, I think it actually did have a balance change, right? No, it didn't. I'm looking. Yeah, no, it didn't. Yeah, it's okay. It's not too bad at PvP. It's not too good. Maybe I should have moved it up to C tier, but I just don't think it competes with the fruits that I had in C tier. Spin, the only reason Spin is in D tier is because it actually, like, you know, you can use some of its moves somewhat for PvP. Barely, but somewhat, so I put it in D tier. No grinding capability, no farming capability whatsoever. So, yeah. Suke is the exact opposite. Zero PvP capability, I guess, unless you include Battle Royale. And it has a little, very tiny bit of farming capability since NPCs can't see you. So, whatever. Heal is literally a Battle Royale fruit. You could make the excuse that it's decent for boss farming. You know, you can keep you and your friends alive, but outside of that, pretty useless. Again, the heal isn't anything insane. You'd have to dedicate your entire build to healing to make it worthwhile. On to C tier. C tier, we have Bari, Bomb, and Yomi. So, Bari, I like having in C tier because it actually can do PvP pretty well in the right hands. You know, you can do it okay, and grinding, it has a sliver of grinding capability. You know, you can shield your friends off. Again, it's like not very good for grinding at all, but there's something. So C tier. Bomb, I hate to have to put in C tier because I was a Bomb advocate. I loved it. It was my favorite rare fruit, to be honest. but they made it so Bomb Grab, his cooldown has been tripled. So yeah, Bomb Grab was honestly, it's like one of its best moves. So its PvP capability has been shot really bad. Therefore, I can't put it in B. I have to put it in C. Next, we have Yomi, and Yomi surprisingly has to sit in C tier. Normally, I would put it in B tier as well, but again, it's PvP capabilities, which is all it has because it can't grind for shit. Yomi, his combo extender has had its wind up increased by 50%, and its cooldown is now 2 times longer. That hurts it really, really, really bad. There's not a lot you can do with it now because wait, so Chilling Soul startup increased by 50%. If the startup is increased, that means it's slower, right? I think so. If that's what that means, then it's worse. If it means that it's faster now, then it's obviously in B tier or A tier. But if that means what I think it means, then it's C tier. Excuse me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100% sure. They kind of phrase it weird. They like switch their phrasing up in these logs. Anyway, on to B tier. In B tier, we have Gura, Hiei, Itto, Paw, Zushi, Suna, and the new Spring Fruit. So, Gura in B tier. I feel like that makes sense. The fruit did get buffed. I honestly was thinking about putting it in A tier, but I have a lot of fruits in A tier, so I kind of just made the sacrifice of kind of putting it like, it's definitely one of the better B tiers for sure, because Head Crusher now no longer knocks back. It's kind of like a combo extender. It does have a bit of a wind up, so I don't think it's true to M1 straight into it, but if the person has a slow weapon, I think you can just M1 straight into it and get away with it. That is like, it's really good, and the waves now will pretty much hit from anywhere, no matter how far you are from C, which is always nice. Head Crusher cooldown is 5 seconds longer, but I mean, hey, you can get a free combo out of it now. It's a good combo starter / extender. So yeah, it definitely got a good PvP buff, but its PvE is honestly still the same, and I don't think the one move getting buffed really changes its entire ranking. I think it definitely does make it a better fruit, but I don't think its entire ranking is going to shift, and if it does, it's only up by 1 tier. Hiei is in B tier because Ice Stomp is no longer a guard break. It is blockable. It is a little bit faster, but or 25% increased startup time, so I think, yeah, it's faster. The Frostblade startup increased. It is now 1.75 times faster, so almost 2 times faster. And the sword hits, those 2 initial swings, now block break. That's really good. I don't think it makes up for Ice Stomp being a guard break, though. Ice Stomp being a guard break honestly seems like it was better. Ice Spike, its speed is not based on Devil Fruit, and it no longer drains stamina. I feel like that's kind of irrelevant for what we're judging these off of. That'll make the fruit more fun, but not really any better. So I kind of left it in B tier. If Ice Stomp was still a guard break, it would definitely be A tier, but no Ice Stomp guard break. I mean, I'm happy it's not a guard break, but obviously makes the fruit a little worse. Itto got a blot. Pentachromatic no longer combo extends. It has a lot more knockback, but it does have increased damage. Parasitic Strings has a longer cooldown. Birdcage no longer can be used as a combo extender because there's no more stun after you use the skill, but it is 50% more damage on it now. String Bullet has the cooldown cut in half, 2 times travel speed, and increased damage scaling. To be honest, the combo extenders going away really knocks this fruit down. There is no grinding capability for this fruit, if we're being honest. All it had was PvP, and it just lost 2 combo extenders. One was an ult, sure, but still 2 combo extenders is 2 combo extenders. So that kind of sucks. I'm going to have to knock it down to B tier. Next, we have Paw. Paw Bomb has less stun, so it no longer can combo extend. That really hurts it. It is 20% faster size scaling, whatever that means, but losing a combo extender always sucks. Paw Barrage has increased stun by 10% though, so it does seem like you'll be able to combo extend with that a bit easier. And some increased stamina cost on Rendezvous, and you can also only teleport party members, which, okay, whatever, doesn't really matter all that much. But yeah, losing a combo extender really sucks. Losing 2 combo extenders really sucks, right? Paw Bomb and wait, no, I think it's just Paw Bomb. Yeah, Paw Bomb. That hurts it, so B tier. Next, there's Zushi. Dominance can now only be used on the ground, so no more up tilting into dominance. The startup increased, so there's no real combo extending with dominance. And there is a significantly longer cooldown on gravity pull now. So it was 8 seconds, now it's 25, which is a lot. Its PvP capabilities have kind of been shot. Again, not a lot of grinding capability, so I'm gonna have to sink it in B tier. It's still okay for PvP, I guess, but I don't know. It kind of lost what it really had. It has some PvE capabilities with its meteors and its ultimate, but using them for PvE, if you've ever done it, is kind of inconvenient depending on what you're trying to do. Then there's Suna. Desert Spada goes out 50% faster, damage scaling buffed from 50 points to 10 points. Desert Cutlass startup increased by 20%. CD, the cooldown was increased to 13 seconds, and Desert Railgun damage increased by 20%. I didn't make anything significant out of any of this, if we're being honest. I just put Suna in B tier. It has solid PvP, solid PvE. It kind of finds its way in the middle ground for both, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I could be wrong on this. I never really got super into Suna. Next, we have the Spring Fruit. Now, off of what I've seen, Spring has really good PvP capabilities. It just doesn't have a lot of AoE capabilities, doesn't have a lot of range. You got, you know, speed, combo extenders, you got good damage, but you're kind of missing those PvE components. In Arena and Battle Royale, seems like you could do some serious damage. You know, it could be a really good fruit, but it's kind of lacking otherwise. So I think B tier is a solid spot for it, a nice middle ground. Next, we have A tier. In A tier, we have Mochi, Snow, Yami, Kage, Goro, Gum, Tori, and Ope. So, starting off with Mochi. I don't know if Mochi got any, I think it did. Yeah, Mochi did get balance changes, but they weren't anything significant. Mochi Barrage has a 5-second longer cooldown. Mochi Buzz Cut, his damage scaling has been increased. Damage reduction when hit by Mochi Buzz Cut has been reduced. So if you have somebody in a Mochi Buzz Cut, the damage outside of it, like the damage they take from other sources, has been reduced. And removed being able to regen during Mochi Buzz Cut whenever you're casting it, because, you know, you can just hold it for a while and regen a lot. None of that is too significant, I'm not gonna lie, and Mochi is pretty solid. I was gonna put it in S tier, but I figured it'd be a little bit better for A tier. It has really good farming capabilities, really good PvP capabilities, but it's not the greatest. I feel like, I don't know what it's missing, but it does have good combo extenders and all that. I'm just not too up to date on Mochi on how it is right now. So if you do believe it should be S tier, let me know. I'm completely open to it being S tier, but I don't know. I felt like I was too ill-informed on the current state of Mochi to put it there. I didn't want to piss people off too much, so I just left it like near high A. Yeah. Next, we have Snow. Now, I really was not playing GPO whenever this fruit released. Yuki. Hyper Armor on Frostbite has been removed. I heard that hurt it really bad. There was reduced damage scaling on Snow Blizzard by 33% and damage scaling for Snowstorm from 33 to 60, whatever that means. Yeah. Apparently, Yuki losing Hyper Armor on Frostbite really hurts it. It has apparently really good PvE capabilities as well as really good PvP capabilities, but these nerfs kind of knock it down from S to A. They're not super huge, but they're enough to, I think, drop it a ranking. Next, we have Yami. Players hit by Black Vortex, Cruel Burst, and Black Hole now take 75 reduced damage from outside sources. Removed Hyper Armor on Cruel Burst, and Ultimate now has 2 times damage scaling increase. And removed HP speed scaling for Abyssal Form. These are good. They're nothing too crazy other than Ultimate is 2-time damage scaling, but the reduced damage from the outside kind of balances this out. It's nothing too crazy. I think the fruit honestly just got some balance changes, but like, again, they sort of balance themselves out, so I'm going to leave it in A tier. I think that's fair. It has good grinding capability, good PvP capability, solid in Battle Royale. Maybe not as much anymore from the outside sources kind of change, but hey, it's pretty good and it keeps itself in A tier. I don't think this was really ever an S tier fruit, I don't think. Next, we have Kage. I don't think Kage got any balance changes. It is a really good fruit, really good PvP wise, really good PvE wise. I think PvE You know, it's great for like dungeons and all that good stuff, especially with your clone. PvP wise, I think the stamina drain is quite a pain, and I do think that the tornado not being a true combo extender is also quite a pain, even though I think it does have 1 or 2 other combo extenders. It is being held back by a lot of its kit being kind of repetitive, and I think that's kind of what holds it from being an S tier. It is really close to S tier. It is a really good fruit, but I'm just afraid I can't put it there personally. Next we have Goro. Now Goro would be an S tier if it wasn't for that ridiculously high stamina drain, those high cooldowns holding it back. It has high AoE, high range, good damage, big old ult, everything you kind of need, but high stamina drain, high cooldowns are really holding it back from being good for farming, but still making it really good for PvP. Next, we have Gum. Now, Gum is an A because of Gear Second. It makes it really good for PvP, and I did hear that it has some PvE capabilities because its moves have a bit of AoE to them. They're fast, so yeah. Even though Gear Second is a mode, I still think it could be pretty solid, especially with some traversal, you know. That's always nice to have, especially for PvE, so I think A tier, it might be generous, but I think with the addition of Gear Second, I think it's fair. Tori's always going to be a pretty good fruit, PvE and PvP wise. It kind of does the best of both worlds, being able to heal yourself, being able to do all that stuff. Burn damage is nice, high AoE, high range, good mobility. All of that is always going to be really good, especially with its rework that it got in Update 7. It'll always have some good PvP qualities because of that. Its PvP was questionable before that, but now I think it's really good. It did get some balance changes. Tori Barrage stamina drain increased by 25%, stun increased by 25%, some hitbox changes, things being easier to aim, but the biggest thing is obviously that the mode doesn't take stamina. It's its own mode bar now, and the max is 90 seconds of mode, which I think is fine. But yeah. Next we have Ope. Now I don't know if Ope should be an A tier. I really don't. I think it should be because it is really good for PvP. It does really good damage. I've seen some crazy combo clips. It looks really nice, but I think it might lack in PvE wise, especially because you're limited to the size of your room, and the bigger the room, the more stamina, all that stuff. So I think the stamina is really holding it back PvE wise. The range is kind of holding it back because again, limited to the room. If it weren't for the room, definitely be S tier, but since its grinding isn't the best, I don't think I can put it in S tier. Alright, next we move on to the final bit, the part everybody's been waiting for, S tier. We have Magu in S tier, Mera, Pika, and Venom, or was it Doku, I think? So yeah, we're gonna start off with Magu. Magu, you got Magma Rain, you got Magma Hound, you got Eruption, making it really good for PvP, making it really good for ulting bosses when you're farming. Raids, it's really good. The whole shebang. Honestly, it can do it all. Not much has changed. Eruption cooldown increased by 25%. Magma Rain cooldown increased by 30 seconds, which hurts it a bit, but not enough if we're being honest to take it out of S tier. I think Fruit will always be really good. Yeah, Mera is the golden child of GPO. It has always been so good. The ultimate automatically casts after a full charge now, and Firefly's speed increased by 15 seconds. Just makes it 15%, I mean. So that just makes it easier to hit. Whatever. I think Fruit will always be really good. You can just spam the moves. They do high damage, high burn. Fireflies with high Devil Fruit does insane damage, like 300, 400 damage just by landing a right hitting E mid M1 combo. It's crazy. Flame Pillar, nothing you can really do about it. It's a great move. Hyken goes out really quickly. The ult is really good. You can spam Flame Pillar on bosses, and it's crazy. It's a great move. You can cheese bosses with Fireflies. Phenomenal fruit. Pika, I normally would have an A tier, but with its new buffs, I think it honestly slides its way into S tier. It's increased it's faster windups on lunge and kick, make it a lot better, and I think that's enough to knock it up into S tier, to be honest, because now it has an ult that works well on bosses. It has moves that can be used well enough in PvP now. There's not a lot of combo ability to it till this day, but because of the high knockback on its moves. But hey, the moves coming out quicker now makes it a little bit more unpredictable. They don't display as easily, making it a little bit easier to get off, and I think that just nudges it barely into S tier, so I like it. Next, we have Venom. Venom is absolutely amazing. Huge damage, big AoEs. I don't think it farms perfectly, but it's so close. I just put it in S tier. I think it is missing a little bit of range to its farming, but that's only specific for some types of farming. I think when you're boss farming, you're in dungeons, I think it'll work just fine. So for the most part, I think the high AoE, all that Venom that's going to be everywhere, is really good. And for PvP, I've seen some clips and it looks really good. Again, high damage, not a lot you can do about it. The rage mode is crazy. It looks really good, and a lot of its moves are fast, quick moving guard breaks, easy to start combos with, and I really like it. So again, that's it for this tier list. Again, if you guys have any problems, please be peaceful in the comments. This video ran kind of long, but there's a lot of fruits to discuss. I guess these tier list videos are always going to get longer and longer. I hope you don't hate the decisions I made and where I place things. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace.